I held a shiny electric guitar in my hands, my fingers gliding effortlessly, the strings vibrating with passionate melodies, setting the space around me ablaze. I closed my eyes, letting myself flow with each rhythm, each powerful riff pouring fire into my heart. Wow, this was life. And then, oh no, what's wrong? Why isn't there any sound? Riley! Oh crap, it was Mom! Then Mom picked up my beloved electric guitar and smashed it in half. Hi, I'm Riley, 15 years old. You must be pretty shocked seeing what just happened, right? But don't worry, it happened all the time. This was only the third time this month. I grew up in a pretty unusual family. We were triplets. There was Otis, the eldest, who was so gentle he was almost boring. Then me, and finally Fiona. I might have been clueless about many things, but since childhood, I'd always known two things about Fiona. One, she was incredibly dumb, and two, she hated me. Since I was little, I loved boys' games like catching bugs, playing in the mud, and climbing walls, etc. This accidentally annoyed a girly girl like Fiona, and she would always tattle on me to Mom. Once she even bit her own hand and blamed it on me, getting me a good spanking from Mom. In those moments, Dad would always come to my rescue. To me, he was like a real-life superhero. Everything was peaceful until one day. Mom got into stock trading and ended up in huge debt, with debt collectors coming every day. Dad was so shocked that he had a stroke and passed away. My world collapsed. I was so angry at Mom. But then Mom came and cried, telling me she just wanted to move us to a better house and get us into better schools, which was why she got into that risky game. Seeing her in such a pitiful state, I felt incredibly sorry for her. Mom, what can I do to help? Yes. You know, you're the one I trust the most in the house, right? Otis is too gentle and Fiona is still immature. Riley, let's bring our family back on its feet together. So we had to move our beloved house and move to the countryside. I thought I'd have peaceful days in the countryside, but no. I had to do all the housework while Fiona just sat there, scrolling on her phone. Otis tried to help me, but Mom immediately stopped him, telling him to go study and that boys shouldn't touch household chores. Not only that, I had to mow the lawn and clean the cowshed. For goodness sakes, these hands were meant for playing guitar, not shoveling cow poop. Worse, while I was cleaning, I slipped and face planted into the cow poop. What a wonderful day, right? My arms were now swollen from weeding and I smelled horrible. Ew, don't you ever shower? And what's that stuff all over your face? You smell like a portable toilet. Stay away from me. Still smells better than your attitude. Saying that, I raised my hand to give the brat a lesson, but got stopped by Mom. Seeing that, I asked her straight up, Mom, this is so unfair. Why do I have to do all the work while... I'm sorry, I'll do it. You don't need to lift a finger anymore. My head hurts. I need to rest. That night, I walked past Mom's room and saw her still awake, sitting there looking desolate with a pile of bills on the table. At that moment, I felt awful. I was bickering with Fiona, but wasn't I just like her? From then on, I started following Mom's instructions. It wasn't fun at all, with Fiona still not lifting a finger and mocking me. But at least Otis helped me a bit, though secretly.
I can only help you this much. Now I have to go to extra classes.
The only thing that could cheer me up was practicing guitar. Phew, finally some time to relax. I was playing my favorite tune and imagining myself performing on a big stage when... Riley! Then Mom picked up my beloved electric guitar and smashed it in half. Mom, what are you doing? This is the third guitar you've smashed this month! Suddenly, Mom fell to her knees, covering her face and crying, leaving me stunned. I'm sorry. It's just the debt collectors just threatened me, so I lost control. It's okay. I'm here now. Riley, I know this isn't fair to you, but can we put this passion on hold? Because right now the most important thing is to make money. What do you mean, Mom? What should I do now? How about getting a part-time job? Otis is busy with his competitions and Fiona is preparing for the beauty contest. You are the only one I can rely on. I wanted to tell Mom that I had an upcoming guitar competition, but before I could say anything, she was already gone. So from then on, right after school, I had to rush to my part-time job, then use whatever little time I had left to practice guitar, of course, without Mom knowing. Luckily, Otis always had my back, so Mom didn't find out, but the thorn in my side was still there. Looks like you're finally being useful these days, helping out instead of just playing that noisy guitar all the time. So annoying. Stay calm, stay calm. I just had to keep working hard to pay off the family's debt and I wouldn't have to endure this anymore. Time flew and finally the performance day came. I gave my all on stage and the audience cheered wildly. Come on, if I could win, Mom wouldn't be able to stop me from following my passion.
And the winner of this year's Fiery Melodies competition is Riley Scott! Congratulations!
I couldn't believe my ears. All my hard work had finally paid off. As soon as I got the prize money, I rushed home to show Mom and gave it to her to help with the debts. Mom hugged me tight, tears streaming down her cheeks. That hug was so warm, it felt like I was reliving my childhood days. But the next morning, I was shocked to see Fiona all excited, ready to go out, holding the envelope I gave Mom last night. Hey, where are you going? Can't you see? Shopping, duh. Mom's feeling generous today. I was furious and was about to confront Mom when I saw a very elegant woman sitting and talking with her. She introduced herself as Baker, Dad's ex. After they broke up, she found out she was pregnant with Dad but couldn't afford to raise a child back then, so she had to give her up for adoption. Later, she went abroad for work for 5 years, but when she came back, she lost contact with Dad. I know I'm a terrible mother. Thank you for raising and protecting my daughter all these years. Miss Baker's words left me stunned. That daughter, it had to be me. And that was why Mom always made me do more than Otis and Fiona, always siding with them when they were wrong while I was always the one getting punished. Maybe that's why I always felt different from them. That night, I thought so much my head felt like it was going to explode, and I only fell asleep from sheer exhaustion. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of commotion outside. Fiona was dragging a suitcase and getting into a car with Miss Baker. I rushed down, but the car had already left. Mom wiped her tears and said, "I'm sorry for lying to you both, but Fiona is her biological daughter, and now it's time for her to go back to her real mom." I was extremely confused and had to lean on Otis to stay upright. This was ridiculous. Why was Fiona, the adopted one, pampered so much while I, the biological child, was treated so poorly? Fine. From now on, I was going to live my life my way, not caring about anyone else. I quit my part-time job and openly practiced guitar despite Mom's approval. I'm done with you! You're just like your father, stubborn as a mule. Let's see what you can achieve on your own. I felt so sad but tried to hold it in, and so Mom stopped caring about me. Only Otis stayed by my side.
Mom's like that. Don't be too stubborn or she'll blow up. It's scary.
Can you stop it already? How could you ever understand what I've been through? Things went on like that until one day I heard Mom talking on the phone with someone. "Fiona, my love, how are you over there? I miss you so much." Oh, it was Fiona? Honestly, it's pretty boring, Mom. This family is rich and they have everything. Fiona, I'm sorry we had to be apart like this, but this was the only way I could give you a better life. Now it's just you, Otis, and that freak Riley left. Poor thing, she's such a weirdo, Mom. She's the one who should feel miserable, being away from her real mom all these years and treated like a servant without even knowing it. My heart felt like it was being squeezed. My legs trembled, and I felt like I had no strength left. I collapsed, accidentally making a noise. Who's there? Oh, Riley, is that you? How dare you call me your daughter? You and your daughter are both snakes! Then she slapped me hard. You! I'm going to tell Miss Baker the truth! Oh, really? Go ahead. Let's see who would believe a nobody like you. Your dad was so naive, I tricked him into marrying me without him even realizing it. Then she grabbed my hair, tied me up, and gagged me. You know too much now. With you around, my daughter can't have peace. She only came up 3 times a day to feed me, then locked the door tightly again. A few days later, when I was at my most desperate, I suddenly heard a knock from the window. It was Otis. He climbed in through the window and untied me.
I could tell something shady was going on from Mom's voice, so I knew something must have happened to you. Now, let's get out of here, quick.
Otis led me down with a rope to the backyard, but as soon as we got down, there she was, waiting for us. Where do you think you're going? Otis, how dare you betray me? She's not even blood related. Lock her up for me now! Otis was sweating bullets, hesitating as he looked at Mom, then at me. Now! Didn't you hear what I said? Why are you always standing there like an idiot? Otis suddenly took my hand. Otis was still Otis. Nothing had changed, but I was wrong.
Even if we're not blood related, Riley is still the sister I love the most. And Mom, look at what you've become, and what you've turned Fiona into!
You? How dare you speak to me like that?
Because these are the words I've wanted to say for so long. But because of your and Fiona's dominance, I've always had to hold back and become this weak person.
But I only wanted what's best for you!
What's best for us? That doesn't mean hurting others, Mom. What did Riley ever do wrong? And think about it. If we live in luxury on Riley's misery, Do you think we'll end up happy? What goes around comes around, Mom.
She was completely shocked, probably something she never expected, and neither did I, that timid Otis would dare to stand up and speak his mind. I believed, even just a little, that Otis's words had touched her somehow. I quietly decided to leave because there was nothing more to say. Just then, we got news that Fiona had secretly taken Miss Baker's car to go out with friends and had an accident. Oh my gosh, Otis, I was wrong. I've been loving her the wrong way. After that, I went to Miss Baker, my biological mom, to tell her everything. I also suggested she do another DNA test, but she said it wasn't necessary, because the day she came to talk to Mom, she saw me and felt some kind of invisible bond. And so, I had a new family, loved in the right way. Otis and I still kept in touch, and he was focusing on studying to become a PhD. As for Fiona, she had to go to a reformatory for a few years. Since that incident, I hadn't seen Mom again. But on my last birthday, she sent me a letter with the prize money I'd won from the guitar competition inside. I apologized for everything. It was all in the past now. I decided to forgive to lighten my heart, because the most important thing is to live happily in the present, right? Mom, Dad, I'm home. Oh, my dear daughter, look at how beautiful you are.
For the first time in my life, I feel proud of you.
Hand it all over. Oh, look at all these brand names. We could make a fortune selling these. Mom, can't you see how dirty this is? Shh, you've been living here rent-free your whole life, and now it's time for you to pay us back. Okay, that might sound a bit harsh, but hey, I'm used to it by now. It doesn't even hurt my feelings anymore. Hi, I'm Luna from Mexico. I'm about to tell you all why my parents freaked out over the designer stuff I brought home and how they completely wrecked my life. It's quite a story. I knew I was different from other kids early on. By 5, I could beat a high schooler at Rubik's Cube. At 10, I was solving logic puzzles. And now I can do complex math in my head super fast and accurately. But my parents, they weren't fans. Go out and make some money. Studying is just a waste of time. Honestly, my parents are a total mess. My dad was an IT engineer, but he got fired 6 months ago because of layoffs. He's been spiraling ever since, then started drinking. Because he can no longer afford for my mom. She's a beauty, but obsessed with it. Her talent is blowing thousands of bucks on makeup and clothes in 5 seconds. And so, my parents never stopped fighting over money. One day, Dad came home to find his beloved computer setup replaced by foundation, blush, and glitter from high-end brands.
You know that was important to me.
Are you calling me dumb? You promised me everything when you proposed. If you were as rich as the Gomez billionaires, things would be different. Can you both stop nagging? The Gomez's may be rich, but they don't have what you have. You have me. Kids are the most valuable asset. They suddenly went silent and stared at me. In that second, I knew what they wanted from me. Then came the days of my mom begging me to play along in their adopted by billionaires scheme. Of course, my parents would benefit from it. Mom's nagging drove me nuts. How can you even think of doing this? It's fraud! They're loaded. They give to charity every weekend. Who's poor? We are! Please, Luna! All right, I'll do it. Only because I love you guys. Got it? That day, I stood outside the Gomez's company building trying to catch their attention. Fall in front of him, then show off how cute and smart you are. Got it? My mom sure had schemes. Why couldn't she use that brain for something legit? As planned, I approached as they walked out. Ouch! Oh dear, are you alright? That's when I saw the Gomez's up close for the first time. They had kind faces, and Miss Gomez's voice was so gentle.
Sweetie, did you hurt yourself anywhere?
I was speechless. Guilt washed over me. Would I be a bad person for deceiving them? Before I could react, they quickly got into their car, leaving a bodyguard by my side.
Do you need to be taken to the hospital, miss?
Right then, a van came barreling down the street out of control.
Move! The brakes have failed! Move!
The van was heading straight for the Gomez's, who were frozen in shock. Without thinking, I rushed to push them out of the way, and we all fell to the ground. I woke up aching all over. I was in a hospital. Mom, Dad? We're here. We're right here. I looked around and didn't see a trace of my parents, just Mr. and Miss Gomez and a bodyguard standing outside the door. Thank goodness you're okay. Thank you so much for saving us. Otherwise...
What can we do to repay you?
Once again, I was at a loss for words. We don't have any children. If you want, become our adopted daughter and come live with us. And just like that, I entered the billionaire's family, and my life completely changed from that point. I lived in a vast mansion by the sea and led a life anyone would envy. Miss, it's time to wake up. Be careful not to catch a cold. I felt like a princess in a palace. Mr. and Miss Gomez showered me with love and care. We want to give you the very best. Clothes, shoes, jewelry, and designer bags became more abundant by the day. A week later, while chilling and watching MDA, I got a call from my mom. Plan worked out perfectly, didn't it, sweetie? Who's this? Don't joke. Just stepped into luxury and already forgot your poor parents. Not joking. You guys didn't even care about me. I almost got hit by a car. I saw you were fine. What luck, huh? Come home tomorrow. Miss you a lot. She hung up before I could finish responding. She misses me. Really? The next day as I walked in, Mom rushed over. Oh, my beautiful girl, you look stunning.
For the first time in my life, I feel proud of you.
Give it all to me. Oh, all these brands. We'll make a fortune selling this. She snatched everything valuable from me. From clothes and bags to even my shoes. It's really cold outside, Mom, but she didn't care. I walked back to the Gomez's mansion, sneezing non-stop. Achoo! Miss Gomez was concerned and asked if I needed a chauffeur. Were you robbed? Did they hurt you? Her question left me stunned. My parents were no different from thieves. That night, I got a message from my mom. She was demanding I steal money from the Gomez's safe and bring it to them. I would never do something so filthy. But they surely wouldn't let it go if I didn't bring home the money. Finally, I decided to get a job and earn money to give them. Delivering pizza was a decent gig. I could get extra tips from friendly customers. Like this one time, I delivered to an old lady whose cat had run away, so I helped her find it. When I did, she tipped me $1,000. It was awesome. But the job came with its challenges. A few times, I bumped into the Gomez's or their bodyguard on the street. Obviously, I couldn't let them know I was doing this to earn money. I handed over all the money I made to my parents, but it was never enough for them. This isn't even enough for the bracelet I want. Are the Gomez's being stingy with you?
I want a new computer set up. Your mom sold my old one. Help me out, will you, sweetie?
Their endless greed makes me sick. But I was out of ideas on how to improve the situation. I stopped answering their calls for a few days. When I didn't pick up, they started texting. First, it was, Mom needs those designer items to sell for money. And, you're heartless if you ignore your poor parents. When I still didn't reply, she became furious and started cursing. Bring the money home or I'll expose the truth that you planned all this. Hours later, she texted again. My dear daughter, Mom's sorry for scolding you. I just need you. Please send the money. As if I'd believe that anymore. 3 days later, as I was waking up, the butler came and said someone wanted to see me. As expected, it was my dad, but he wore a gloomy face. As soon as he saw me, my dad burst into a dramatic sob.
She's sick, all because she missed you too much.
Half believing, half doubting, I told him to calm down and spill the beans.
She's in the hospital, but since we're broke, it's a hospital far from here.
So you guys need money, right?
No, I mean, she just needs you to take care of her.
Suddenly, I felt a pang of sympathy. Maybe now she finally appreciates family. Money isn't everything after all. I'll come with you, but I need to tell them first.
No need. We have to go now.
After a long drive, we arrived at the hospital where my mom was staying. Dad left right then, saying he had business in the city. It was more of a clinic, small and under-equipped. I found my mom in a small room and approached quietly, trying not to wake her. Oh, my daughter's here. Dad said you were sick! Well, yeah, sick as in broke sick. God, what were they up to this time? You just need to stay here for a bit while your dad deals with those billionaires. Once he brings the money here, you can go back. What the heck? They're staging a ransom kidnapping? With their own daughter? Unbelievable. There's no way I was letting them pull this off. I stormed towards the door, grabbed my phone, ready to call Mr. Gomez before the Century scam unfolded. But wait, where was it? Jesus! Dad must have taken off with it. It's a long way. You can't walk back. But I ignored the words of the greedy woman I once called Mom. I ran until I was out of breath. Suddenly, I heard the sound of an engine in the distance and decided to hitch a ride with them. Oh, the pizza girl! Luckily, it was the old lady whose cat I had helped find. When she heard I needed to chase down a car, her face lit up. Well, tighten your seatbelts. There's a vomit bag in the glove compartment. Before I could digest her words, the car zoomed off. Yahoo! It's been a while since I had such an adventure! What the? The old lady was driving like she's in a Formula 1 race. We sped past a deserted park when I spotted my dad's car near a bush. That's it! That's the one! Drop me off here! I approached and saw my dad standing there. Mr. Gomez was holding a large suitcase and his wife was crying. Please, don't hurt the girl. I beg you. With anger boiling over, I burst out. There was no turning back, so I spilled the beans. But saving you from the brakeless car was real.
Coincidences like that? It was all planned.
What? That was really dangerous, even for me. Dad? Dad ignored me while Mr. Gomez, furious, helped Miss Gomez into the car. With a wave of his hand, police swarmed from all sides, ending the scheme. I was released soon after, while my parents had to do community service for months. Hopefully they'd learn their lesson. I went back to delivering pizza, too ashamed to face the Gomez's again. One day, I delivered a pizza to a man and he tipped me a huge amount. I refused and insisted on giving it back, but then the car window rolled down and I saw familiar faces. We always knew you were a kind-hearted girl. Kiss, 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 kiss! The hall was packed with nobles and everyone had their eyes glued to me and my fiancé. A prince with buck teeth and greasy hair leaned in, trying to kiss me. Sweat was pouring down my face. There was no way I was letting this not-so-charming prince ruin my love story. Without thinking, I punched him right in the face. The entire hall gasped in shock, and then the crowd started to get angry. I had just insulted their precious prince. My parents, the king and queen, were completely stunned. They couldn't believe what their daughter had just done. I don't ever want to marry him! What did you just say, princess? I snapped out of my daydream, realizing I was still sitting in the royal classroom. My little sister Lydia, sitting next to me, was giggling. Shut up, Lydia. I zoned out again, staring out the window. I had no idea that my real-life prince was about to turn my world upside down. Hi there, I'm Isabella, a princess of a small European country. My life had always been filled with etiquette lessons and the constant pressure to uphold the royal family's honor. But I was only 15, and you know the most important thing for a 15-year-old princess? Finding a super dreamy prince to marry. But reality, as it often does, had different plans for me. You're going to marry the Prince of Eldoria. The marriage has been arranged, but don't worry, he's cute. I haven't even met him yet. Does cute mean handsome? What if he's not like the charming princes I've always dreamed of? The next day, while lounging by the pool, I poured out my terrible fears to Lydia. Oh, what if he's horrible? What if he's ugly? I heard he looks like a monkey. Stop it, Lydia, that's not funny. Why don't we do some stalking? Lydia's suggestion made me sit up. We quickly found his Instagram account. My fingers couldn't stop scrolling through his profile, but the more I saw, the more tears started rolling down my face. He looked exactly like what I feared. Lydia couldn't stop laughing. I'm not meeting him. You can't refuse. Mom will be flipping flapjacks. I don't care. I'm not going anywhere. Mom pushed me into a chair, throwing me a look that could melt ice. Lots of fancy guests were attending the royal meeting between our two countries. I tried to make myself invisible as the king and prince walked in. Everyone bowed respectfully. Mom shoved me forward and I kept my head down as low as possible.
It's a pleasure to meet you, princess. I am Prince Alexander.
My heart nearly stopped. Not out of fear, but out of sheer shock. This prince didn't look anything like the one we stalked online. He was tall, with striking blue eyes, and a smile that could melt butter. I turned to Lydia standing next to me, who was also wide-eyed with surprise. The guy we stalked is his brother! Over there! A wave of relief washed over me. Alexander looked exactly like the prince I dreamed of in my childhood fantasies. Soon enough, we became a couple, and being with him was pretty awesome. We went on dates, explored the kingdom, and attended grand royal balls together. Everyone said we were a perfect match, but even after months passed, I still felt a bit lost in Alex's world. especially when he'd lock himself in his room for days without telling anyone. And more than anything, I never got used to his bodyguard, Marcus, who was a few years older than me. He was the coldest guy I'd ever met, like his heart was made of ice. I tried to be friendly, offering him apple pie or bubble tea, but he always responded with a blank face. What on earth? He seemed to be everywhere, a silent shadow that never left Alex's side. As the wedding day got closer, Alex started locking himself in his room more and more. He was too busy with some secret project that I knew nothing about. Even though I was getting more suspicious, I tried to accept my fate. I kept telling myself that I liked Alex a lot, gave him space, and just hoped he would share something with me. But right before the ceremony, everything changed. Alexander vanished without a trace, throwing everyone into chaos. The royal family decided to keep the news under wraps, fearing a scandal. No one would take my calls except for Marcus. What happened? Weren't you always by Alex's side?
Except that night, Princess. He was gone when I went to his room this morning.
I dropped my phone, unable to stand from the shock. I searched for him in every nook and cranny, but every path led to a dead end. My desperation grew with each passing day. One evening, after yet another fruitless search, I collapsed onto the sidewalk in defeat. A coin dropped in front of me and I looked up startled to see a couple. Poor thing, she's beautiful but broke. I'm not a beggar. No one in this country knew I was a princess. Did I really look that pathetic? As I turned a corner, I spotted a familiar figure sneaking through the shadows. Marcus, wait up!
Princess Isabella? What are you doing here?
You're looking for Alex too, aren't you?
Shh, follow me.
Marcus led me to his car and started driving away.
Yes, finding Prince Alexander is my duty.
Let me come with you.
No, I'll handle it alone. I'm taking you back to the palace, and tomorrow you'll return to your country.
After that, Marcus refused to answer any of my questions or pleas during the entire ride. Was he even human, or some kind of robot running on a bunch of gears? But that very night, I received a call from Marcus, for the first time ever.
Princess Isabella, I need your help.
To find Alex? Of course, but when?
Right now.
What? It's the middle of the night.
Okay, the princess' room is heavily guarded. I need you to go in and find more information, because I'm not allowed in there.
But after this, you can't ditch me, okay? After 2 seconds of hesitation, Marcus agreed. I boldly entered Alex's room and signaled Marcus to follow. It was my first time stepping into my fiancé's secretive room. We began searching every drawer, behind the paintings on the walls, and even under the bed.
Over here.
Marcus whispered excitedly as he tapped on the floorboard. He lifted it up and I nearly dropped my jaw when I saw a dark room beneath it. But it wasn't as scary as I'd imagined. It was just a small room where many pictures were hanging on the walls. They were all related to a village that, according to Marcus, was located in the southern part of the country.
The prince might be there.
Then we're going there. The next morning we set off at the crack of dawn, and to avoid any royal gossip, we didn't tell anyone about our trip. The journey took us through bustling towns and quiet countryside, and finally stopped at the edge of a vast forest.
We have to walk through this forest. The village is right on the other side, Princess.
You can call me by my name, you know.
Yes, Princess. I mean, Isabella.
The trees were tall and dense. As we walked, a sense of unease washed over me. Something felt off about this place. Suddenly, a group of rough-looking men appeared.
Hello there. You look pretty wealthy, don't ya?
Bandits! Marcus immediately stepped in front of me.
Stay behind me.
As they charged, Marcus fought them off fiercely. After all, he was the prince's bodyguard, so I knew I could totally trust him. Before I could react, one of the bandits grabbed me by the neck.
Stubborn, huh? Now, how are you gonna protect this little lady?
Being a princess and having been trained in self-defense since childhood, there was no way I was going down without a fight. Yeah! I grabbed his arm and flipped him forward, sending him crashing to the ground just as Marcus took down the remaining bandits. He looked at me, seeming unable to believe his eyes. I gave a victory sign, but then noticed Marcus's sleeve was slowly turning red. You're hurt!
It's just a scratch.
We tied up all the bandits to a tree just before the sky opened up with heavy rain. Luckily, we managed to take shelter in a shallow cave. I helped Marcus sit down and started bandaging his wound. You looked pretty cool out there.
You surprised me too.
Piece of cake. We started a fire to keep warm, and as the flames danced, Marcus spoke softly.
I've known Alex since we were kids. I understand him better than anyone else, and I want to find him. Not just because it's my duty, but because he's my friend.
We'll find him. I found myself holding Marcus's hand as a way to comfort him, but then I realized how awkward it felt, so I quickly changed the subject, saying I'd go to sleep. We'll take turns keeping watch. Make sure to wake me up. I drifted off to sleep, feeling safe knowing Marcus was there. but I only woke up when bright sunlight hit my face. You stayed up all night?
You needed the rest. Now, let's go.
He actually knew how to care for someone. We were almost out of the forest and I could see the smoke rising from the chimneys of the village in the distance. I got so excited that I started walking faster. Suddenly, my foot slipped on the wet ground and I tumbled down a slope, falling into a rushing stream below.
Princess!
Without a second thought, Marcus jumped in after me. His strong arm reached out to pull me to safety. He wrapped his arm around my waist and pushed me up onto the bank. But his unhealed wound took its toll, and just as his grip loosened, I grabbed onto his hand tightly. Marcus! Hold on to me! I struggled to pull his solid frame up onto the bank, feeling like I'd just won a national weightlifting championship. Marcus lay there motionless, his face pale. I slapped him hard, but he didn't react. I bent down to give him CPR, praying silently. Come on, Marcus, breathe, please. Seconds passed like hours, but finally he coughed violently, spitting out the water from his lungs.
Issa, thank you.
Both of us seemed to remember that moment when our lips touched and we turned bright red. It felt like our clothes could dry instantly from the heat. We sat there, not daring to speak, even too embarrassed to look each other in the eye. When our heartbeats finally returned to normal, I stood up. Let's go! The village is right there! The village nestled peacefully in a valley, a stark contrast to the chaotic royal life we had left behind.
Push, everyone! 1, 2, keep going!
I felt a wave of relief wash over me when I heard that familiar voice. Alex! He turned around, his face showing clear surprise.
Issa, Marcus, what are you two doing here?
We came to find you! We ran over to help Alex push the cart up the slope. Why did you leave? We searched everywhere for you.
All right. Let's find somewhere to talk.
We followed him to the edge of the village and sat down on a bench by a small stream as Alex began to speak.
I'm sorry for leaving without a word. I couldn't handle the pressure anymore. The expectations, the responsibilities, it's all too much. I feel like I'm suffocating. I know I'll inherit the throne one day, but I didn't think it would be this soon. Then you came along and everyone started preparing for the wedding. I panicked and I ran away. I'm such a coward.
Did you ever think about me, Alex?
I like you, Issa. A lot. Do you want to stay here with me?
Tears welled up as I realized the truth in his words. I had always dreamed of a fairy tale romance, but real life was so much more complicated. I can't do that. I have a duty to my country, to my family. I can't abandon them. My words left Alex silent. I walked away, leaving Marcus and Alex to talk. A while later, Marcus came to find me, holding a letter that Alex wanted to send to the king. I nodded and smiled, taking one last look back at the village. Goodbye, Prince Alex. We returned to the palace and handed Alex's letter to his family. I went back to my room to pack my things. With Alex not coming back, it meant the wedding was off. I figured the past few days in this country would be a journey I'd never forget. I boarded the plane without saying goodbye to Marcus. My life returned to normal, and it would probably be a long time before Mom introduced me to another potential husband. Lydia continued teasing me by pairing me with goofy-looking guys she found online. Oh, look at this one! Give it a rest, Lydia. It's just the governor's son. No, this guy's really handsome! Lydia dragged me to the window and pointed outside. There, I saw Marcus bowing respectfully to my father, the king, before walking towards me. As we stood face to face, I couldn't hide the blush spreading across my cheeks. You came to see me?
Yes, princess.
If you keep using formalities, I'm going to knock you out like I did that bandit. Marcus suddenly bent down and extended his hand towards me. Holy moly, this was exactly the scene that triggered me whenever I watched those princess movies.
I could search for you forever, but I'd never let you slip away.
I happily placed my hand in his, already picturing our future together.